Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer, welcome back to Farming Simulator 2017, and welcome back to Maplewood. Well, we got them on here, and I believe we got 25 bales, so this is about a third of our season goal in one trailer. So we're going to take these over to the dairy barn, and I think I'm going to drop the whole trailer, rather than unloading those into the barn, or even trying to figure out where to put them, because I haven't really even figured out where we want to put them. I mean, obviously in one of the sheds, but I don't know which one, so we'll do that off camera. But for now, we're going to very carefully take those over there. That is a more realistic tractor, it's a more realistic trailer, and it's pretty heavily loaded. So the goal was, at the end of last episode, the goal was that I would come over here and do some mowing, and then when we picked up this episode, we would be on the rake or on the tedder. You know, you got to keep things kind of loosey-goosey in Farm Sim. Or at least I do. I don't know about you. But there's a lot of developing events in Farm Sim, which I really like. It's one of my favorite things about the sim, is that there's always some problem to solve. There's always something to figure out. So we haven't mowed this field yet, and I don't know if I want to mow again on camera. I think I might. This is going to be kind of a quick episode either way, but we'll see when we get back. No. Oh, this thing is so top heavy. So yeah, we'll see when we get back. But, I mean, grass work is grass work. I find it very relaxing. I know some people find it very boring, but I know some people find the sim in general very boring. So, what can you do? You know, everybody's different. Let's hop in cab as we come under these trees, just to keep the visibility. Man, this map really gets green when the foliage comes in. Sorry, concentrating. When the grass and everything comes in, I think it's beating up our frame rate a little bit. But you know what? That's not. That's just reality. You know, if you're rendering more things on screen, if you got more polys, if you got more textures, then that's more for your GPU to do, and that's just going to happen. So it's always going to be a balance. And if I get that 1080, now you say 1080 Ti, you say 1080 Ti. If I get that 1080 Ti system with the liquid cooling, I think it's going to, focusing. If I get that system, I think it's going to solve the majority of my problems for virtually every sim that I play. And I think I'll be future-proof for a year or two. Games will always get faster, but for the foreseeable future, I think, oh, yes. For the foreseeable future, I think I'll be covered for the sims that I play. And there are, I mean, you can find lists of the most graphically demanding games. And as far as the top 10 or the top 15, they appear fairly consistently on every list. And the only one that I have that's on the only sim that I have that's on that list is Project Cars 2, which is weird because I don't find Project Cars 2 to be particularly taxing, and I run most of my settings on high but not ultra, and I seem to do okay. So I'm not disagreeing with that list, or you know, not trying to argue with anybody. I just don't seem to have that problem. You know what? I just noticed something. Is this poo? Is this poo, and is this decorative poo, or is this poo that needs to be cleaned up? Interesting. Oh, you know what? I think it is. Okay. Hey, remember what I was saying about changing? Man, what have my cows been up to? Oh, tummy trouble. Moment. So I think I might have almost 7,000 liters of manure. Manure. On the ground. Okay. Hey, like I was saying, it's always something. Let's, we can back this thing into a shed just to get out of the yard. I guess we have to, because we gotta clean up all this poop. So we will, let's just back this right straight back. And we're gonna drop off these bale tongs. If that is poo, it is. I have every confidence that that is poo. That is one of the most unique placements of spawn point for manure that I think I've ever seen. Normally it's inside the barn. So that would be, that would be different for sure. Not in a bad way, but unusual. Okay. That works out because we wanted to have a full set of tools everywhere. So now we need to go from here. What's the fastest way to get to the store? Probably up over the top of the map. Even better. We can cut through because we don't have an implement on. We can cut through that little shortcut. Okay. Well, I was worried about mowing, and it looks like for the moment that will not be an issue. Okay. Now I do have 20,000 liters of raw grass in that loading wagon that's at the meadow, and it's possible that we will, rather than wrapping any more silage bales, it's possible that we'll just put chaff in the bunker at the dairy farm and use that. We'll just dump silage, bulk silage, into our food mixer when it comes time to do that. And we're sort of, I wouldn't say we're at an impasse, but I'm trying to figure out. So initially we had the McHale baler, and we were wrapping our grass bales, our round grass bales. When we started making hay, we tedded grass into hay, then we rode it up, and when we hit it with that McHale baler, it was trying to wrap our hay bales. We don't want that. So I took that back and got the little Krona, can't remember the name of it, but it's the little Krona round baler from the straw harvest pack. And when we fired that up, it's making the little 2,400 liter bales, which there's nothing wrong with them. They're just small. And I don't think you can wrap those. I think every wrapper that we have only sees the full size, what are they, the 1.3 or 1.4 meter bales. So I don't think you can wrap those. And the reason that's important is if we were to bale grass with that little Krona baler, then we wouldn't be able to wrap those grass bales into silage. So what I'm getting at is I don't want to keep swapping out balers, and I think we have enough. I think we've got enough bales with the 25 that we have right now, silage bales. We'll continue to use that little Krona baler for hay bales, but I don't think we need to use it for silage bales. I think we can do the rest with bulk silage. And it's, in a way, it's, 6 of one, half dozen the other, particularly if we have a bucket out at the dairy farm. When we're mixing our food instead of... When we're mixing our food, instead of picking up a silage bale and dropping it into the feeder, the feed mixer, we would just pick up a scoop of silage and drop it in. Same. And if we can fit, 30,000 liters of silage, grass rather, which makes 30,000 liters of silage, then That's the equivalent of 7 bales. So if we can take 4 trailers over, there's another 28 bales. Right. I could leave these open, I suppose. If we're going to be coming right back through. I don't know. I'm just in the habit of closing gates. Almost all of them. I forget every now and then, and it's sort of not cool. Bugs me when I do that. Right, down to the farm. And we do have money. We have money, but we also have, we got plenty of credit right now. I don't know that we're going to need it because we're already making money with milk, which is nice. It's more or less offsetting our cost because we do have a daily fee for animal upkeep, for vehicle maintenance, wages, various other things. So the milk is sort of covering that, not 100%, but it's sort of covering that. Oh, I just thought of something else. You know, the other thing we can do with grass is make it into chaff. Make it into compost. It's early here. I'm trying to get these all knocked out before the hurricane hits. So I'm just recording like back to back to back. Yeah, we can just take that. In fact, we will. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. We'll take that first load of I think how we want to do this. Because the only way to get... Let's do one at a time. First, we get our scoop. And we're going to get the John Deere scoop that goes with our front loader. If I can find it. There it is. That's 1,200. That's 2,000. Do I need to hold anything down? No. Let's go with this one. It's going to make the math easier. So, okay, yeah, let's do it this way. Let's run this thing over. And we don't have to pick up every bit of poop. I just want to confirm that that is actually what I'm seeing. The reason it caught my eye is it's the same color and texture as what's in the manure bunker at the pig farm. So I'm pretty sure that's poo scattered all over. Okay, so we'll get that taken care of. And I'm going to go around the top instead of messing about with those gates. I'm going to go around the top and see if it's any, not quicker, but see if it's sort of a wash. Then we're going to drive back down. We're going to pick up the... Yeah, we'll do that. We'll drive down, we'll pick up the loading wagon, take that to the BGA, empty it one time, and then the BGA, which is... It's amazing for me to see a BGA on a British map because it's such a German map kind of thing. I keep saying the BGA. The composter. Oh, man. I'm really tired. Bear with me. The composter is something that you typically see on German maps. I don't know if I've ever seen it on a British map. So that's awesome. But the only way you can fuel it is using a fuel bowser from Farmer Andy's Coda Universal Pack. So what we'll need to do is rent one, fill it with fuel, take it down, and fuel up the composter. Oh dear. Very narrow roads. Take it down and fuel up the composter. Okay. So we're not going to be mowing at all this episode. And we do have a little bit of rent on the Ford and on the baler, but it's not too bad. Neither one of them are super expensive. Right, and then next episode we'll continue with our grass work. Like I was saying, there's always something going on the farm. right about here. Set the brake. And I suppose we can start. You know, for a person with OCD, this is it's not that it's poo. I mean, a little bit. Is it poo? Or is it just a texture? I don't know now. I don't know. Well, maybe it's not. Okay. Also getting some archiving on the tractor. Not digging that. All right. Well, this is our poo paddock. That's empty. This does pick up poo, right? Yep. Steaming manure right there. So it's not here. Is it here? Let's try right through there. I'm almost positive. If I had to identify it in a lineup, if I had to pick it out in a lineup, turn to the left, turn to the right, I would say that is poo. Let's see if we can find any in here. Got a good angle. Does this thing just not want to get low? Ah, there's your problem. Whoa. Whoa. Okay, there's several problems. Let's go back to the yard and take a look. Now, I did see Lancyboi say that this map had been momentarily pulled from Giants so they could clean up a couple things, which is not a big deal for a beta map. But yeah, I'm not, and that is poo, but I'm not having any luck picking it up. Okay. Living and learning. Living and learning. So we're going to drop this here. I'll figure that out off camera. How are we doing on time? 20 minutes. Okay, perfect. We'll have just enough time. I'm sorry I said the BGA many, many times earlier. I was talking about the composter. So we'll take that load of grass in the loading wagon over to the composter, and then we'll go rent a fuel bowser and fill that up and get it rolling. Compost, I have to say, it's not quite as good as silage for profitability, but it's a lot faster. You don't have to wait 3 or 4 seasons days. All right, so we'll miss our turn down here. turn? No. Is this our turn? No. Is this our turn? Yes. Yes, it is. Fantastic. So, that. I'm going to stay in cab as we pass all this equipment. I want to see what it does to my frame rate. See if it beats it up real good, and I imagine it does. I'm going to do this without crushing any crop. I'll just stay to this side and be very, very careful. No, actually, it doesn't really beat it up at all. Okay. So I wonder if that loading wagon is the hot mod. We just lost one of our mirrors. Curious. Curious. Okay. Now the other thing that's cool is once we get hooked up to this loading wagon, this will be the last piece of equipment that we have in this field. And I do like to sort of keep things consolidated so we're not running back and forth. I guess I could stay on this single track a little better instead of widening the road. That gate is open, looks like. Yeah, you see these little bales? These little 2,400 liter bales? I gotta figure out how to stack those. I mean, I assume they'll stack just like regular bales, but I don't know. They're just a little bit tedious because they're half the size, so that means you have twice as many of them. Right. Oh, that's cool. A little billboard on the back of our loading wagon. This bridge is going to get me. Before the end of this series, I promise we're going to fall off this bridge. So there's that. Hop out and close this. So we do not have a tool on our front loader right now. When we get to the store, in fact, before we get to the store, because I'll forget, I'm going to buy a bale fork. A bale spike. And the reason is I want to have like redundant tools at any place we might need them. So I want to have pallet forks, bale spikes, and a scoop, a bucket out at the pig farm and also at the dairy farm. And then I want to have pallet forks and a bale spike at the sheep farm. So if we ever take something down there, even if we don't have the tool that we need on the front loader, that we'd still have access to it and not have to make a separate trip. And they're not too expensive, so I think it is allowable. Oh, this thing's kind of heavy, Into... Is this it? I always forget. Yeah, I think that's it. But we're going to have to back up a little bit because we kind of missed our angle. There we go. Can we squeeze through here? I bet we can. I bet we can. And we do. That's fuel right there. That's perfect because after we rent that little Bowser. Oh, it's a maze back here, Lancyboi. Go. There we go. Beautiful. So after we unload this, we're going to drop this loader, this loading wagon. We're going to drop this loading wagon over by the fuel station and leave it there, head up to the store, and or I guess we could just drop it at the store. Yeah, that makes more sense, because we know we definitely have to go back there to drop off the rented fuel Bowser. Okay, that makes sense. You know I'm concentrating. You know I am. Right. So in it goes. Slowly, slowly. Save game. So next episode, and that sort of works out because we were just mowing last episode. So next episode, we'll be mowing and tedding and raking again. Carefully. Yeah, I'm seeing some texture flickering and some things I haven't seen before. I don't know if I need to update drivers or what's going on. But it's that PC lifestyle. It makes me envy you console players who don't have any of these problems. Folks at our local store here are just going to have to deal with us leaving this loading wagon here for about 5 minutes. Sorry, folks, but you know what? We're good customers. All right, so there's that. Let's get this out of the way. And the next time we head over to the dairy farm for anything, I'll drop this off over there. And then we'll have... we already have one over there. Do we? I think we do. We do, don't we? We do. All right. So I outsmarted myself. It's no problem. Like I said, it is very early here. So, set break, sell this thing. Right. And now we need to rent. Where's the... There it is. We need to rent this thing. We don't need to put any kind of wheels on it or anything fancy pants. We don't need to do anything with it because we're just going to take it down there and throw some fuel in it. And I'm also wondering... Before we get down there, just in the interest of saving time, let's go ahead and let's just borrow $25,000. As expensive as fuel is, I mean, we can always pay it back. But just so we're not interrupting our flow. And we'll get some beacon lights on. For safety, yo. Right through there. Now there are some placeable areas on this map, and I've debated putting in the canola refinery. It's a biofuel facility that lets you convert canola to biofuel, and you get, let's say you get biofuel, digestate, and money out of it. Well, you get biofuel and digestate, and then you can sell the biofuel for money. Right. We're going to be using this composter, so let's just fill this thing. Let's just fill it and be done with it. Even though it's going to be expensive, let's just fill it. Or let's just fill it till we're almost going to run out of money, because I think we might. I don't want to go in the negative. Oh, it's going to be tight. It's going to be tight. Oh. Yeah. We're in the red. Okay. That's exactly what I didn't want to happen. So we borrow another $5,000. And let's get this down to the composter. And by filling the composter, man, I keep... No, it is the composter. Now I thought I was saying BGA. Oh, it's early. It's really early here. By keeping the composter full of fuel, we can just dump stuff in there anytime we want and not have to refill it. I don't know. I mean, I know you can max out how much fuel it can hold, but I don't know how Lancyboi has it set up. So it may take this entire trailer of fuel. It may not. As expensive as fuel is, if it does not take it all, then we'll have to keep paying the rent on this thing and figure something out, because I won't return it when it's half full of fuel. We would lose thousands and thousands of pounds. We want to do this. Now we're going to try to get around the corner here without the jackknife. Straighten her out a little bit. Just a little bit. There we go. Man, I hope this works. I hope everything works. Some things more than others. You're right. Good so far. And there it goes. Okay, let's see how much fuel it holds. Put this thing back in neutral. There is very often a control panel. Sure enough. Don't run into it. Okay, so it's looking like fuel, it should hold about 30,000, 40,000, so we'll be okay there. And it's 20,000 liters of waste material, takes it to 40%, so it'll hold 50,000. Okay. Just so we know how much to bring down here before the thing fills up, and then we're just kind of wasting our time. And what I mean by that is, like, a bunker silo can hold 1 million or 2 million liters. If this can only hold 50,000, we wouldn't want to bring a whole lot of material down here too fast, because we wouldn't be able to process it. Okay, so that is empty. Break off. Let's return this. How we doing on time? 35 minutes. That's perfect. We'll call it an episode. Okay, and then we'll mow next time. As soon as I stop this recording, I am going to teleport to the dairy farm to see if we have a bale spike down there. We do. I remember because we used it to unload the straw bales, and then I remember we took one out to the pig farm on the flatbed. And if it was still attached to the front loader, we wouldn't have had to put it on the flatbed. So I'm pretty sure, I'm 100% sure that we already have a bale spike at the dairy, but I'll check. If we don't, I'll take one out there. Right, so everything that I plan to do in this episode, I have done exactly 0 of those things. 0, I tell you. But that's alright. That's that farm life. So we're going to take this right in here. Oh, so close to hitting that fence. So close. Back this up right here. Drop it off. We are done. Oh, we'll do this first. And I suppose we could go ahead and get hooked back up here, since we have to anyway. Right. Auto save. Beautiful. There you go, folks. Thanks for stopping back to check out The Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Farming Simulator 17 from Maplewood. And we'll see you next time. Take care now.